love you all. Thank you for joining me. Let's catch some fish. All right, let the day begin. We're gonna start cranking with one of my customs, Craw color. And we're fishing this edge of the lake. We're leading up back into this creek. It's not really a creek like you'd find on other lakes. It's more of a arm of the lake that I call a creek because it shallows up more so than the rest of the lake. But on this right side heading back, it's a very steep shoreline and it's just littered with lay down trees. About time to put this baby on. What do you guys think? Oh. That is no good. Man, I knew it would be cold, but 43? Bruh. Oh, Lord. We've got work to do, gentlemen. Fishing cold water, man, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for battle. It is a grind. I think ice fishing is probably quicker than this kind of fishing. You know what I'm saying? This cold water, cold open water stuff, it is, especially in the mid-Atlantic, it is just hard. Just an optimal Craw color that I painted myself. Spring Craw. All right, well, for once they were right with the weather. They called for 90%. 90% rain, and even at like 90%, I'm like, yeah, right. But, you know, it's happening. So we're gonna get the rain suit on. Might not be able to film as much as I wanted to, but that's okay. Life doesn't always go as you expect. We're still gonna fish hard, and if I catch a big fish, damn right you're gonna see it. 43 degrees. Whoa. Bruh. I'm hip. After this week, next week is gonna be lit. Okay, so for the next offering, I'm gonna take this chatterbait. It's a real natural bluegill colored skirt. And I've got a Kitech 4.5 or something like that. I don't even know on the back, but it's not kicking right. It's not working well. So we're gonna go with a trusty dusty Zoom Super Fluke Jr. Now, the little cousin to the Zoom Swimming Super Fluke Senior would be the Megabass Spark Shad. You guys are familiar with this thing if you watch the channel because it's a major player for me. No matter what body of water I'm fishing, this thing works. And it works especially well in cold water. And right now it's cold. So we're gonna throw it. I'm throwing this on a Daiwa Tatula 701 MRB rod. It's a medium. All right, after this we're gonna move. This is pathetic. Those are the kind of days like where you pull up a 5-6 pound bass, boy. Yo, I know this guy. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Got him, got him. Oh, that's a pig, dude. Ooh, that's a stud, dude. That's a stud. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Put that net down. Grab him. Grab him. Grab him, Alan. Yeah! Whoa! Holy. Let's go! Oh yeah, baby. That's huge. Holy shit.
This is big.
Holy
shit. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, dude. Oh. Look at that. Dude, Spark Shad. Back to the big stuff. This is the Okuma SBX Swimbait rod, 7'11" heavy. I got a stupid deal on it because Amazon messed up. They didn't send it to me the first time. Then they messed up sending it again. It was out of stock twice and they just somehow didn't tell me. So I was like, all right, this is how we're gonna solve this. You guys are gonna help me out on the price and then everything will be cool. And they were like, okay, let's take $110 off. So I got this rod for like 100 flat and it's a 220, 240 rod, something like that. Oh, that thing. Definitely the biggest offering these fish have seen in the lake in a while. So this is a slow sink. We're gonna let it just sink as far down as we can get it because I do not believe these fish are up here shallow. I think they're down in the 12 to 15 zone. And it's gonna take this bait a good while to get down that far. Even though it's 2 ounces, it's a slow sink. It's just like, I'm watching my line along the descent, because if this thing is falling like this, it's mimicking a dying bait fish. Bass is likely to hit that on the fall as well. So I'm just gonna work this. I think this reel is a 5-to-1 or a 6. It's pretty slow speed. I'm just gonna slowly retrieve, slow and steady. We don't need to do any erratic action at all with water temps as low as they are. Slow, slow, slow day. Let me show you guys the jig we're working with. The Strike King Tour Grade Football 3/8. Matter of fact, this is a 1/2 ounce. I just switched up the trailer to the Z-Craw Junior. It's a little small profile beaver type bait. What's up, guys? We're gonna do a little mid-game recap of what has happened so far, which is nothing at all. It is like, whew, it's just a frustrating situation when nothing's biting. You're not seeing anything on the graph. You're not getting any clues. There's nothing going on. It drives you crazy. Anyway, let's talk about the day. We started off in this section of the lake expecting it to be a bit warmer. Just all around, I thought the water was going to be at least 3 degrees warmer. It's not, so we have to adapt. And in this case, adapting means throwing the whole damn tackle box. I started the day off with a crankbait, and I quickly realized that that's not going to be the ticket today. It's just too cold. So I moved to the jerkbait by H2O Express, Academy Outdoors. Showed you guys that in the last Tackle Warehouse unboxing. But primarily today, what I've been focusing on is swim baits. Just throwing these bigger baits, also some smaller swim baits, and I'll show you what I've been working with. The Savage Gear 5-inch bluegill slow sink. It's a 2-ounce bait. This thing is savage. It's awesome. It's like I don't know how much this is, like $13 at Dick's Sporting Goods. Got a couple of those. I've been throwing this little Stingray grub with a slider head. I've also been throwing the Spark Shad, the 3-inch Megabass, and then also on this Cumberland Pro Jighead, the Zoom Swimming Super Fluke Senior. So those are the 3 swim baits I've been using, plus that slider head deal, as well as another slider head with the Zoom Z-Craw, and otherwise that jerkbait, crankbait. Yeah, I've been throwing it all. Oh, and the jig.
1 eternity later.
All right, guys, so let's check on the time. I'm kind of losing track here. It's been a monotonous day. 2:45, oh man. It's been an hour and a half since I talked to you guys last. No bites, no clues, no life. I marked 1 ball of bait, 1 ball of bait over there. And that was like 20 minutes ago. Everything else is just dead on this place. Water temp still 44.5. Now here's the deal. I switched to the jig just now, and this is a really cool jig by War Eagle. I don't like the jig overall for flipping into heavy cover because of the way the head is designed. It's got almost like a flat head there, right? And that thing goes right up into cover, and it wedges right in between the weed guard and the eyelet of the hook. So this is a better open water jig, but I'm gonna throw it anyway. I'm expecting to lose it. Here's what happened, right? Didn't I say that I was expecting to lose that jig? Okay. I was not expecting to lose the whole setup, and that's what just happened. We're fishing in 30 feet, and I throw exclusively braid. I'll explain why in a later video, but a lot of times with braid, if you fish braid, you understand this. It gets embedded within itself. If you've had a snag on the previous cast or whatever the case, sometimes the braid just gets embedded into itself. And when you go to cast, it can kind of just cause like a kink and it just gets stuck. And that can cause forward momentum, which caused my reel to fly out of my hand. It's wet outside and whatever the excuse is, it just flew out of my hand. And I was like 10 feet away. I got right on the motor real fast. I zipped over to it, and I was literally like 1 inch away from grabbing this setup. It was a Daiwa Tatula with a Bass Pro Shops Extreme. So this was like an over $200 value. I've had that for years, and that really hurts. It really hurts. But we can cry over spilt milk, or we can keep fishing like Warrior Gang does. The rain, as you can tell, is starting to get heavier, so I might not be able to record everything. I'll probably put the camera away for a second because my intelligent self forgot the waterproof cases today. On a day where they forecast 90% rain, I don't bring the waterproof case. Whew. Well, today has come to a close, folks, and this is one of those days where I really don't mind leaving the water because it was frustrating, and it was frustrating in a variety of ways. First of all, the fishing was frustrating because we didn't get any fish, obviously, and then two, the weather. It was cold as hell. It did not get anywhere near like 60 degrees like they said, so weatherman's right about one thing, wrong about another always. So I didn't get any footage, not that you guys want to see me just throwing and throwing and throwing into the abyss over and over, but, you know, there's nothing in between when I filmed earlier and now. So I threw everything, a wide variety of baits from large to small, soft baits, hard baits, everything in between, guys, and I talked you through kind of what I was doing all morning, and I continued that throughout the rest of the day. I hit a lot of other spots. I hit points, deeper contours on the edge of creek mouths, and I even went into a couple of creeks to see if there was anything in there. I marked a lot of bait out in open water, but that's typical for this lake, and it's typical this time of year in general. You find the bait, you usually find the bass, but I wasn't about to sit out in 50 feet of water and jig a blade today. Aside from that, I also lost some gear, which is pretty weird. That never happens to me, but I cast like a maniac. I was like, yeah, and you know, so that thing flew pretty far. There's a few things I could have done to save that, but I messed up and that thing's gone. So we're gonna have to come back and fish that out somehow.